The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
They gave me my theme music!
This is a Planet Fanatix production.
What's up and what's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody being here tonight. We are going to jump into some news, some of the things that's going on tonight. We're going to jump into our review, well, somewhat of a review, which I still will post our immediate afterthoughts of Echo on our actual YouTube page. We did watch Echo. Did not get to the finale of the episode, but got through 1 through 4 of the 4 of the 5 of the episodes. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the Michael Jackson biopic and finally getting a release date and some of the news on that. We'll talk about Deadpool 3 and the first trailer, when to expect that first trailer for Deadpool 3, and we'll talk about some more Fantastic Four news that's going on. The last thing that we'll talk about is going to be Venom 3, and the newest poster for Venom 3 seemingly revealing who the villain, even though Venom himself is a villain, who the villain of the Venom 3 film is going to be. So we're going to discuss all those things with you guys tonight. And then we will wrap up tonight. Now tonight's is going to be kind of like the other nights, where we're going to kind of get through tonight's topics. Once we get through the topics, we'll spend a little bit of time in the Q&A, and then after that we will call it a night for today's stream. But before we get into everything, Corey, how are you?
Not well.
No.
Not well.
Not well.
Not well. But I will live on.
Right. Yes. That's all we can do. Is move on.
Okay,
Move
how
on.
are you? How are you?
I'm sick of spending fucking money. I'll tell you that. I just left from the store because it's supposed to be a ice storm over this weekend. You know, supposed to, the high tomorrow's 10, 12 degrees, they say. So it doesn't feel that right now. It's actually quite nice outside right now. It does not feel like that. So, but it's supposed to be the high tomorrow, 10 to 12 degrees. So everybody and their mom, dad, auntie, uncle, grandma was at Crest, was at the store. So it was stupid trying, like the lines were dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb. And we had, and anyway, I said sick of spending money because I got like literally bottles of water, apples, some peanut butter for the apples, I think like some canned shit just in case the electricity goes out and whatever. All that shit came out to $70 damn. I'm like, I'm sick of this shit. This is ghetto. I didn't ask for this, and I'm sick of this. So that's where I am. I'm sick of spending money.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're gonna get into all of this now. So we'll just go ahead and jump into everything. The first thing that we're going to talk about is going to be, of course, one thing we've all been talking about. It's been on the minds of a lot of people. I know a lot of people are kind of waiting for the Fantastic Four, Marvel's First Family, when they were announced back at D23 in 2019. Everybody was so excited because we had been waiting so long to see Marvel's First Family come into the MCU. How the MCU, Kevin Feige and company, would handle such a precious family, such a precious team within Marvel's Marvel Comics and within Marvel's repertoire. So it was one of those things that, you know, everybody was excited for. But again, I did say that was announced in 2019, and here we are 11 days into 2024, and we are just now nailing down the cast of Fantastic Four. We are just now, once again, with this report, hearing that they are going to be pushing back once again the Fantastic Four when they're going to start the filming for the Fantastic Four. Now we know the Fantastic Four events of the film are going to bleed directly into Secret Wars, I believe even into Avengers 5. But some of the things we do know is that Galactus is going to be the villain of the film. Instead of it being Norrin Radd, who is the original Silver Surfer, the one we all know as Silver Surfer from Marvel Comics, it's going to be switched as a female Silver Surfer, and a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Frankie. That is going to be the Silver Surfer that is going to be played by, oh gosh, I forget her name, the Queen's Gambit. I forget her name. Gosh, I forget her name. Anna Taylor-Joy. Anna, I believe that's who. I believe. I still feel like that's wrong. Will you look that up for me? I think it's her. But she is going to be, or she was eyed to be playing the role of the female Herald, female version of Silver Surfer in the film. Galactus again is going to be the villain. Doctor Doom was never going to be originally a part of the film, but since the newest changes over at Marvel Studios and moving Michael Waldron over to Secret Wars and moving Michael Waldron over to Avengers 5, removing Jeff Loveness from Avengers 5, and after the abysmal disaster that was Quantumania.
You're right.
Is Anna Taylor. Okay, so after the abysmal disaster that was Quantumania, they decided we are going to move on with Michael Waldron instead, and now probably going to insert, if the rumors are true, insert Doctor Doom into the Fantastic Four film. Now, he's not going to be when I say insert him into the film, he is not going to be an integral part of the film, if a part of the film at all. He's going to be a part of the post-credit scenes, the post-credit sequel to building up to Doom, because a lot of people are now speculating with the firing of Jonathan Majors from Marvel Studios. Of course, it's not news to you, unless you've been living under a rock, that they are going to be moving and pivoting to Doctor Doom. Possibly. This is the rumor. So, with the news of... once again, nothing to really give for the Fantastic Four other than more delays for the Fantastic Four. But this is what this is what comicbookmovie.com had to say. They said previous reports have indicated that cameras were set to begin rolling for Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four reboot around April, but it seems that production has hit a delay, which could ultimately lead to the movie's May 2025 release date being pushed back. According to Jeff Snyder, filming won't get underway until Q3, between July and September, and he believes a release date change may be imminent. In addition, Pedro Pascal, who is now said to be in lock to play Reed Richards, and I still have not been sold on that. They have to sell me on that. I'm sorry. Pedro Pascal is a phenomenal actor. We all agree that Pedro Pascal is a great actor. You know, just rewatching Game of Thrones, seeing him as Aubrey, like he's great. Pedro Pascal is a great actor. I don't see him as Reed. I don't think he has, and I could be wrong. I just don't see him pulling off the gravitas that it takes to pull off playing Reed Richards. I don't see Pedro Pascal playing the smartest man in the room. But
we shall see.
We shall see. It goes on to say, has been forced to drop out of the Barbarian director Zach Krager's new horror film, Weapon, in order to clear his schedule for the Fantastic Four. We're still waiting on an official cast announcement, but it's looking highly likely that Pascal will be joined by Vanessa Kirby, Mission Impossible in Dead Reckoning, as Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, who played they didn't put it in here. I forgot who he played though. But yeah, Eddie Munson, as he's going to be playing Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and then Ebon Moss Barach is going to be who played the Punisher and played in Bear. He's going to be playing Ben Grimm, aka the Thing. These are rumors that both Cillian Murphy, who played in Oppenheimer, and Mads Mikkelsen, who played in Rogue One, are top picks for Doctor Doom. Cillian Murphy is definitely one of the fan choices to be Doctor Doom. But other actors are sure to be in contention. And this is from Jeff Snyder when he tweeted. He said, exclusive, Pedro Pascal exits the Weapon due to scheduling conflicts filming on Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four has been pushed to Q3. So what will Pedro shoot this spring after wrapping The Last of Us? It sounds like RC awaits. Meanwhile, its Fantastic Four won't start shooting until Q3 of this year. An early May 2025 release date sure does sound ambitious. We'll see if that sticks. Unlikely would be my guess. And then it goes on to say, The team's most prolific foe is not expected to have a significant role in the reboot. In fact, he may only show up in a post-credit scene, as we were talking about earlier. But the villain could well emerge as the new big bad for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially after the recent news that Marvel has decided to part ways with the Kang actor Jonathan Majors. Several well-placed sources have claimed that Doom will be one of the main villains of Avengers: Secret Wars. Javier Bardem is said to be the top choice for Galactus, which we've talked about. It was him, Dennis Quaid, and at one point it was even Zorro. What's his name? Antonio Banderas. Yes, which I never wanted Antonio Banderas as Galactus. I'm sorry. I think Antonio's a good, fine actor, but the accent for Antonio is way too thick. Could you imagine Galactus with a heavy, thick Hispanic accent? Yeah. No. But that is something I could see Marvel doing. Javier Bardem. And then it goes on to say, the Eater of Worlds Herald is believed to be Silver Surfer, but a female take on the character. A recent rumor claimed that Honor Taylor... Hey, I'm on my shit. I know my shit. So, Honor Taylor-Joy is being eyed for that role. Matt Shakman will direct Fantastic Four from a script by Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer. Plot details are still a mystery, but Kevin Feige has confirmed that this will not be another origin story for the super team. This is quoted from Kevin Feige. If you remember, he said this back in 2022, and I use this all the time when we talk about Fantastic Four, because this is one of the things that I think stands out the most when looking toward what we're about to see whenever this film comes out. This is Kevin Feige saying a lot of people know this origin story, a lot of people know the basics. How do we take that and bring something that's never been seen before? He said in a 2022 interview, comparing this new take on the heroes Marvel Studios packed with Sony to bring Spider-Man into the MCU. We've set a very high bar for ourselves with bringing that to the screen. So, like I said, we know very little, if anything, about the Fantastic Four when it comes to the plot. You know, at one point the plot details were something to do with them going back in time traveling to the 60s. I think the 60s still plays a role in this film. I think the film still is going to take place in the 60s. I think that plot has stuck from day one. That has been the common denominator from day one when it comes to the plot rumors, that the film is going to take place in the 60s. They're going to time travel back to the 60s, and at one point it had something to do with Stark, the technology that Tony Stark developed for them to use in Endgame to time travel is something that Reed stumbles upon, and then while stumbling upon it, then sets them back in time to the 60s. And I remember when I originally heard that, I did not like that, because I was like, well, Reed being the smartest man in the room would not be
tinkering around with
something that, I mean, how would he accidentally send himself back in time? And then somebody mentioned in the comments that day, and I think it was Not Again 90 that said, what if he's tinkering with it because he views it as primitive? He's trying to see what is this low tech, you know, because I mean, honestly, Reed's mind is unmatched when it comes to Marvel Comics, and you know, to have that character on screen, Pedro's gonna have to bring it. But, you know, before I even say Pedro's going to have to bring it, if we're staying on the train of what is out there in way of leaks and rumors, the rumor is Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm is going to be the lead of the film, going to be the lead of the team. She's going to be the main central focus. It's not going to be Pedro. It's not going to be Reed. It's going to be the Invisible Woman. And that kind of, I mean, I believe it. Why do I believe it? Because it lines up with everything that we already know about the MCU already. Right. You know, with changing the Silver Surfer to be a female, with putting the focus on Sue Storm. I don't know if anybody just watched Echo, but I mean, just, you know, a lot of that stuff. So, but that's what we got there on the Fantastic Four. We'll have to just wait and see. I agree with Jeff Snyder. I don't see a 2025 release date being realistic. I do think it is going to come out more than likely the same year as Avengers 5 now. If not the same year, it'll come out the year before, but a couple months. Then a couple months after, into the new year, we'll get the Avengers 5 or something like that. But that's what we know right now. So, you know, anything you would like to say on the Fantastic Four, the news there?
No, it's just been talked about so much, and like you said, we have little to no information. So what is there to even really?
Yeah. So it's a waiting game.
Yeah.
It's a waiting game. But, you know, as always, questions for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. What are you thinking about Fantastic Four? Again, are you sick of hearing about the Fantastic Four? Are you sick of talking about the Fantastic Four? You not care about this delayed, release date, because here it is, 2024. 2025 would have been next. I think, honestly, Fantastic Four was supposed to come out. Was it 2024 originally? Was that the original date? I think the original date was 2024. That was supposed to come out. Obviously, we know that, the pandemic and a lot of other things pushed a lot of things back, but here we are. So let us know down below what you guys are thinking about the Fantastic Four and the changes. And what do you think about the current casting so far? Pedro Pascal is Reed, Vanessa Kirby is Sue, Johnny is going to be played by Eddie Munson, who is Joseph Quinn, and we got Ben Grimm, who's going to be played by Iben Moss. So, you guys let us know what you guys think down below. What are they saying in the comments?
Cookie Wood said, should have found an unknown actor, so whack. Andre Ware, Pedro's Reed is still not right, ... we shall see. Chill Spot said, I've seen 2 different origin stories for the Fantastic Four, and I don't know which one is the right one. There's so many out there, so many different plot leaks out there. But like I said, the thing that has remained the same is just that it is going to take place in the 60s. So I think we can expect the film to take place in the 60s. Yeah. I appreciate you being here, Professor the Film Fan. But we will move on to the next topic here. And the next topic here is just going to be Deadpool. And again, when talking about upcoming things for Marvel, the most exciting thing is Deadpool, because it is Marvel's only project that the only project that the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is going to be releasing next year. Outside of that, you're going to have your Madam Web, you're going to have Venom 3, and I believe Kraven also. No. I think Madam Web and Venom 3. I don't know about Kraven. I think Kraven maybe 2025 or whatever the fuck. But Deadpool is the thing that everybody's looking forward to. We are on the countdown and the road to Deadpool. And I believe, and I've said this before, this film is going to be massive. They are putting so much focus on this film. I remember Kevin Feige had said a couple of weeks or months back that the main focus for him right now is Secret Wars, Deadpool 3, and Captain America 4. Those are the things that he's trying to really put the focus on, trying to really get perfect. We know that Ryan Reynolds wants this to be absolutely perfect. Yeah. He has worked his ass off to get Hugh Jackman, and we know that Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine. Most recently, in the past few days, the Wolverine mask did leak. We know what the mask is going to look like in the Deadpool film, and it looks phenomenal. It looks great. It's going to match. Yeah, it looks good. It's going to match with the suit and everything like that. We know that this is going to be from Jeff Snyder, from what we've heard from Jeff Snyder, from what we've heard from Daniel RPK and the other scoopers, that this is going to be an X-Men filled film. From Taylor Swift hanging out with Sean Levy, who is the director, hanging out with Ryan Reynolds. A lot of people are speculating that Taylor Swift, and I do believe that she is going to be playing Dazzler in the film. Kevin Feige has long wanted Dazzler to be a part of, to do something with Dazzler. He wants to do a Dazzler film, but if he can just get Dazzler in there in some capacity, I believe that's going to happen. And I don't just believe it's going to be Dazzler. Any X-Men that not any X-Men you can think of, but a lot of the X-Men are going to be in this film. We're going to see multiple Wolverines, multiple Deadpools. We're even rumored to see the OG Fantastic Four, 2000 Fantastic Four Fox team. If you look at some of the leaks from the set photos, we've even seen the original Sabretooth that played in the 2000s X-Men film. We've seen Halle Berry posting pictures on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck you want to call it with her white short hair when she played Storm last. Professor X, played by Sir Patrick Stewart, he has come out and said some more things in regards to could he be showing up again in the MCU and this or that. We know that Sir Ian McKellen, most recently we've heard that Magneto may not be a part of Deadpool 3 now, but at one point was rumored to also be a part of Deadpool 3. A lot of Kelsey Grammer's Beast, Jennifer Gardner as Elektra. Yeah. We've heard so many different rumors when it comes to this film because this is supposed to be a huge multiversal film. The events of this film are going to bleed directly into Secret Wars from what we know. So if that is true and we know all these things and we're supposed to see an incursion, the Fox world's, this film is going to be massive. It's going to put asses in the seats. Not only that, this is going to be Marvel's first rated R film where you actually get to see Deadpool interacting with the characters in the MCU.
not just mention you. Let me take that back. He's never gotten to even mention the MCU. Now he gets to toy and say whatever the fuck he wants to say in regards to
fashion.
yes, and I cannot wait for that. I think this is I said this when it was announced. It's one of my most anticipated films. I cannot wait for this film to come out this year. I'm counting down. I'm going to be covering everything when it comes to leaks, rumors, set photos, plots, this and this and that. We know the TVA is involved. Miss Minutes is involved. I mean, this is going to be a fun film, and I think for the MCU, this is what they need right now. And I'm really glad that this is the only film coming out this year, because Marvel needs this time to sit back and figure out 2025, 2026, and forward to get to Secret Wars. Because one thing they cannot afford is to fumble Secret Wars. You cannot afford to fumble the massive story that is Secret Wars. You already fumbled a massive story in Marvel Comics with Secret Invasion. You cannot fumble Secret Wars. So I think that this time that they're going to take off in 2024 with only releasing Deadpool is good for them, so they can take all that time, put that focus in Deadpool, and then put that focus into the future. And now we're supposed to see our first look at Deadpool on February 11th at the Super Bowl. And I believe that that's probably true. Why? Because we know that the Super Bowl is one of the most watched television events, period. I believe last year's Super Bowl was the most viewed Super Bowl halftime show ever, and most viewed Super Bowl, I believe.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I do believe that's what it was. So why not put the Deadpool trailer right smack down in the middle of the most watched event?
Literally just watch it for
the commercials. Exactly. Right. I do. I don't.
I'm not there for the football.
I'm not. I'm there for the halftime show and the commercials.
Right.
So for me, I mean, that's going to be massive for them. That you're going to get for people that one thing that we always have to remember when we talk about this stuff. Not everyone is us. Not everyone, not all these Marvel fans are paying attention to these leaks, these rumors, these set photos. There are people, I guarantee you might think it's crazy or whatever. That's just because we live in this space. There are people that are going to see this trailer, if they decide to do something with Wolverine, the claws, show something, I don't know, that are going to say, oh my God, is Wolverine in this? Is that Hugh Jackman? That have no fucking idea that Hugh Jackman's even donning the role. People thought that he laid the role down with Logan. So when people get a peep at whatever the trailer is going to look like on February 11th at the Super Bowl, that's just going to amp the anticipation and the hype for the film. I really do believe this film is going to break a bill. I do. I believe it's going to break a bill. On top of it breaking a bill, I think it's going to have major rewatchability, and I think it's going to put Marvel somewhat back in that casual conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm
for a while too. Because
yeah.
Like we said, this is the only movie that we're getting from MCU Studio,
right.
At least for a whole year. So, yeah, I think this is going to definitely put them back in a topic of conversation seat.
I'm excited for it. I really am. But like I said, this is coming from, again, comicbookmovie.com, and this is what they had to say about Deadpool 3 showing up possibly as a trailer spot at the Super Bowl. They go on to say this isn't the first we've heard this, but reliable sources are claiming to have confirmed that the first trailer for Deadpool 3 will indeed debut during the Super Bowl next month. Fans were hoping that we might get a glimpse of some footage for Marvel Studios' Deadpool 3 before the new year, and while that obviously didn't happen, we may know when to expect the first teaser or possibly even full trailer for the Merc with a Mouth's MCU debut. And then it goes on to say, according to insiders Daniel Richmond, the first teaser for Deadpool 3, untitled Deadpool movie, will indeed be releasing during the Super Bowl, exactly 1 month from now on February 11th. Most studios unveil trailers for their upcoming tentpole releases during the event, so this wouldn't exactly be a massive surprise, but if this is accurate, we will likely get official confirmation along with a little preview, hopefully, over the next few weeks. We have no idea what to expect from the first look of the movie, but knowing star Ryan Reynolds, who recently accepted his Emmy Award, to welcome for Welcome to Wrexham in the costume as Deadpool. I saw that clip. It's going to be far from a standard movie trailer. Cameos that have reportedly been lined up include several X-Men characters, Storm, Cyclops, Jean Grey among them, and possibly even Channing Tatum, and that is true. Channing Tatum is going to reprise the role that he never got to don when Fox wanted to do a Gambit film. But when Fox wanted to do a Gambit film, it was around that same time that I believe Disney had gotten the rights back to the characters, so that film never took place. And we covered that. I want to say that was a story. We covered that then. But yes, Channing Tatum will be donning the role as Gambit in the film. And Taylor however, as different variants of Gambit. A recent rumor claimed that Levi Schreiber is also set to reprise his X-Men Origins Wolverine role as Victor Creed. Then it goes on to say variants of the Merc with a mouth are also expected to appear, including Deadpool. Including Dogpool, since confirmed, Kidpool, Lady Deadpool, and more. The one major return that has been confirmed by the trades is Jennifer Gardner as Elektra, but the Elias alum declined to confirm anything in recent interview. Then we've got, I don't know, I'm not butchering that name. I don't know who these people are. Oh yeah, what's her name? This plays Negasonic Teenage Warhead. All these people that played in all the Deadpool films will be returning as their respective characters, and they'll be joined by franchise newcomer Emma Corrin from The Crown and Matthew, whoever from Succession, whose roles are still under wraps. A rumor synopsis for the movie reads: after facing some professional setbacks while going through a midlife crisis, Wade Wilson decides to officially retire Deadpool and become a used car salesman. But when his friends, family, and the whole world are at stake, Deadpool decides to bring his Catons out of retirement. Then it goes on to say, the synopsis continues, he recruits an unwilling and unweary Wolverine to not only fight for the survival but ultimately their legacy. So it's going to be a time-hopping event where they're going to be jumping from different universes to universe. The TVA is going to be involved, and it's going to be a very fun time with this film. So I'm excited. I cannot wait for Deadpool 3, and it's the only thing Marvel's got coming out this year.
I know, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited to see how this is going to get us into Secret Wars. I'm excited to see the X-Men, like almost every X-Men that we've been introduced to as far as movie-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and I think the fact that they're actually, like, friends and they, are friends in real life, I think the dynamic between them in the movie is going to be so fantastic.
Yeah. And like I said, I think, oh shit, we'll try to do that. I think that Hugh Jackman does such a damn good job portraying Wolverine. I was watching Days of Future Past not too long ago the other day, and it's the scene with Magneto and Charles on the plane. Such a good scene, where Charles is yelling at Magneto for abandoning him when Magneto takes control over the plane, obviously using his power. And he's naming off different mutants that were all killed. And after the whole thing, blah, 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 they argue. Wolverine asks him, so you've always been an asshole, because he's in the past. He's talking to old, younger version of Magneto. And he's like, so you've always been an asshole, and blah, 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 blah. But after they argue, or after he says what he says to him, he looks at all the shit on the plane that got knocked over. You gonna clean this shit up? That shit is just so funny. He does a good damn job playing Wolverine. But I know a lot of people are wanting a different Wolverine. When I say a different Wolverine, everyone loves Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but everyone is wanting the actual comic accurate Wolverine, that short, hairy, always angry Wolverine. But we'll see what happens in way of variants, what happens with way of the reboot and everything like that. But as always, questions for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking of the Deadpool 3 trailer news. Do you think that we're actually going to see a Deadpool 3 trailer releasing at the Super Bowl? And if so, what do you think the trailer could contain? Do you think we're actually going to see, is Marvel going to do the typical Marvel thing that they've been doing where they actually spoil a lot of the movie by showing a lot of the cameos? Do you think that Ryan Reynolds is kind of going to get on top of a lot of this and try to keep a lot of this under wraps? Let us know all those things, all your questions and all those answers down below in the comments. What do we got?
Xavier, I'm ready for the Fantastic Four, but I'm even more excited to see what the MCU gets the X-Men right. Not again 90. X-Men's going to be a turning point in the MCU. I think Ryan Reynolds going to make this his Diamond Baby film.
Yeah.
Raptor Cloak, can't wait to see Wolverine, Cole in live action, and also heard Sabretooth might show up.
Yeah. That's what they're saying.
Omega Zero, I can't wait to see Morbius appear in Deadpool 3. Pookie Wood, I haven't watched a Super Bowl in looting commercials in years, waiting on Dallas to get there. Well, you might be waiting a little bit. Chillmonger, and because of the strike, there will be less trailers.
Oh yeah, not a lot. That's true too.
True, we might not get a lot of trailers. Because if you
true,
think
too.
about it, it comes out in May, right?
It does come out in May, yeah.
And we're next week we're going to be in the middle of January, and we still haven't gotten a trailer. So if we get a trailer next month,
you'd probably get another. If you get a trailer in February and it's a teaser, you'd probably get a full trailer sometime in March. And then you get the final trailer
in May, maybe
May, end of April.
Who knows? Chiron, I'm not feeling the plot of Deadpool because it should have been Deadpool kills the Fox universe being a horror movie.
I think there's something that's going to happen in some capacity, just from what we know about from the set photo leaks. A lot of that big battle he's having from the photos that we've seen with Wolverine, that is taking place in the Void, and we know the Void obviously from Loki and Marvel Comics itself, but
right.
Loki for the MCU, and one of the pieces in the Void was the Fox logo. So that would, I guess, allude to the Fox universe being destroyed in some capacity. I think we're going to see some incursions taking place, and when I say incursions, I hope it's not the incursions we were supposed to see in the Marvels, but
right.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to see some incursions taking place.
Tyrone again, I'm not keeping expectations high for rumors because they subvert expectations, and it's not gonna be every Fox Universe character in this movie for a proper send-off or scene in Secret Wars.
No, that's going to be weighted for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
One of the things that we do know about the Fox universe, from that Kevin Feige has already talked about, and from leaks and rumors from these, from again my time, Can We Get Some Toast, Daniel, all of them. The Fox Universe X-Men are going to be the proper X-Men that we are using until we get to Secret Wars. We're not going to get our MCU proper X-Men until after Secret Wars, until after the soft reboot, until the Mutant Saga. Yeah. The X-Men from the Fox Universe are going to get a proper send-off by being used in the events that are taking place with Battle World, Secret Wars, everything like that. Avengers 5. So those X-Men, those Fox X-Men are still going to be used. And as far as leaks and rumors go, yes, always divert expectations. Take all of this with a massive grain of salt. But I will say what I always say, and that is that My Time to Shine, Hello, Daniel Richmond, a lot of these scoopers are more times than not on top of it when they come to these plot leaks and things like that. We cover all the plot leaks that we've, for most of the Marvel movies that we've done are gone to see, and that's all of them. And I will say every plot leak that we have read here, our track record
has been pretty on par.
on every single one of them has been on par. We've known what's going to happen in the films, and we typically stream and talk about that, but we've known what's going to happen in the films before we even get there.
Yeah.
So
That's really it.
okay, let's see. Let's move here. We'll move to Venom 3, the Venom 3 news here. So the Venom 3 logo has recently been revealed, and with that logo being revealed, it has taken on speculation on who the villain is going to be. And I that sounds weird saying who the villain in a villain film is going to be. Venom himself being a villain is going to be fighting a villain.
I was kind of confused on that plot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
What, can we just go ahead and get him with Spider-Man? Like,
I mean, that's what people want. You know, that's a thing too. I
don't understand why we're doing a third film.
You know, I heard somebody say it would have been cool. Well, let me get to this first before I even say what I was going to say there. So, this is coming from Screen Rant, and I will read here quickly what they are saying. And they go on to say a new stylized logo. Oops. I did that again. A new stylized logo for Venom 3 was recently revealed, and it seems to tease the villain for Sony's upcoming Marvel movie. After Venom kick-started Sony's Spider-Man universe in 2018, its sequel went to subtle route with the name Venom Let There Be Carnage. However, it appears the franchise is breaking form for the third and presumably final Venom franchise entry. Venom 3's logo was revealed at Sony's CES 2024 presentation along with a handful of non-Marvel projects. Unless something changes before the movie's marketing officially begins, it appears the third Venom will indeed simply be Venom 3. One more note than the non-scripted title is the movie's logo seems to be teasing a Marvel villain perfect for Venom 3. There's precedence for superhero movie logos and title changing after being revealed, so there's no saying if this logo will stick, but there's surely intentions behind artistically rendered 3. That most connect to the movie's characters is one way, shape, or form. While the connection has been confirmed, the new Venom 3 logo makes one particular villain theory seem much more likely than ever. And that theory is that it's going to be, and that is the first look at it, for the first look at the logo. And the theory that everybody's going with is that they think that it's going to be Kraven.
Kraven?
Yeah, let me get exactly to that part though that they were talking about.
Yeah, connect the dots for me.
Was it Kraven or was it Toxin? I think it might have been Toxin. I was hold on.
Did they even have any exchange in the? I never kept up with Venom.
It says the Venom 3 logo features the word Venom stylized as it's been in the previous 2 movie titles, but it's blacked with a swiney red 3. The inclusion obviously doesn't give anything away as clearly as Let There Be Carnage did, but it's inspired theories that the next Venom movie will feature the Toxin symbiote. Toxin, not Kraven. I'm sorry. I was going off of. I'll get to the Kraven thing in just a second. In Marvel Comics, Toxin is an offspring of Carnage who bonded with several hosts, and while generally presented as more of an anti-hero, has spent time on both sides of the hero/villain divide. The character makes sense for Venom 3 for several reasons. The first reason being the biggest reason Toxin is in conversation about potential Venom 3 villains is that he was teased at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage. The nod is vague and likely didn't mean anything specific to non-comic readers, but after being injured in the climactic battle between Venom and Carnage, Detective Mulligan gains a glow in his eyes and speaks of monsters in Marvel Comics. Mulligan is the first and most important host of the Toxin symbiote, and this scene seems likely to set up the future bond with the creature. With Toxin in mind, the new Venom 3 logo seems to gain some symbolism. The most obvious connection is the logo is red, and like Carnage, so is Toxin. Given symbiotes are often differentiated by their color, it's a strong mark in Toxin's favor. Given that Carnage is dead, moreover, 3 makes sense for Toxin as he's a third generation symbiote. Venom birthed Carnage, and Carnage births Toxin in Marvel Comics. So once again, we are getting a Venom film where Spider-Man is once again not involved. I had said this the last time we talked about anything going on with Venom. At one point, the plot for Venom was going to be, it was Venom and Eddie in New York, some type of detective. I don't even remember what that shit was, but even with this is just putting Venom once again in that hero, that anti-hero, hero spotlight, and that's just not what Venom is. No one cares about these characters unless Spider-Man is attached to them. And when I say that no one cares about these characters, I don't mean that we don't care for these characters in that way. What I mean is I don't care, and I believe the mass majority do not care, to go watch a Venom film where he is the hero. To go watch a Kraven film where, if you were going to do Kraven and you really want to do Kraven, and Sony owns the right to these characters and they've refused to, sell Spider-Man, and if I was Sony too, I would chase that bag after. I wouldn't sell Spider-Man either, but you have Kraven.
Yeah. Why
not do Kraven's First Hunt? Kraven's First Hunt in Marvel's comics is one of Kraven's best stories. It's where he's hunting Spider-Man, and that is something that could have been done even instead of him getting bit by a lion, and now he's infused with. He's got. I don't know. The way I looked at Morbius is the way I look at Kraven. It's the way I look at Venom 3. It's the way I look at Madam Web. I don't understand what Sony's doing. I don't know that any of us really understand what Sony's doing. I believe that a lot of it is supposed to culminate in infused with the MCU, with whatever they're doing with multiversal stuff, but Spider-Man's not involved. And again, it's the reason I didn't watch Morbius. It's the reason I will never watch Morbius, because Spider-Man is not involved. You have 6 of his, you're using his villains, they're basically the Sinister Six, and you are not
involving him whatsoever.
He's not involved. I just don't get that. I don't understand that.
Or a mention or a cameo.
There's nothing.
There's literally nothing.
There's nothing.
Nothing to get me excited to be interested in these set characters.
No, not at all. And really, I have nothing more for Venom because it's just
MCU's just pulling to Sony right now, and I'm just like.
Yeah, Sony is always going to Sony, and that's just what it is.
So we expect that from them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Marvel, what's happening? I feel like you're just taking pages out of their book and getting all these C, D, E, F, listers if you're trying to make them something, and it's just without the main character, it's just not working.
Yeah, no, and it's never going to work. No matter how many anti-hero villain stories they try to tell, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
You have one of Marvel's biggest IPs in Spider-Man, and you are refusing to use him.
Crazy.
I just don't get that. I don't get that. But, as always, questions for you guys. What do you think about Toxin being the villain for Venom 3? Do you care? Is it something you're going to go check out? Or are you just kind of fed up with whatever Sony's doing with the Spider-Man characters, Marvel characters? Let us know all these questions down below in the comments.
Tyron, Venom 3 should definitely be a crossover with Andrew Garfield's Spidey, or just cancel it.
Yep. I thought Andrew Garfield was going to be in it.
In Tony film? I feel like I said that wrong. Venom last movie sucked.
Yes.
Tyrone again. Did Zack Snyder allude to teasing a My Rage? Teen Mutant Ninja Turtle live action film, or was he just showing off his collection? Because I'd like to see a movie based off the original comics and being a kids brand only. I don't know.
That one I'm not sure on.
Xavier, if Spidey is not there at this point, I'm not at all interested.
He's not there, buddy. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's not in the film.
Tyron said it was Craven's last hunt.
Yeah.
Gray agreed and said it's Craven's best story.
Yeah, Craven's last time. Great story.
Raptor Cloak said it before, and I'll say it again. Sony will run Spider-Man's IP value into the ground before they give it back to Marvel. Tyrone again. I think they should cancel these Spider-Man projects that's not utilizing Spider-Man. It's like Gotham Knights without Batman, the
Right.
Arrow versus Smallville, etc. Spider-Man
Right.
embargo or Spider-Bat embargo.
Right. I agree.
I agree.
Completely.
Yeah.
All right. We will move here to the next topic, and the next topic that we are going to move here to is going to be the Michael Jackson biopic. Now, we've talked about the Michael Jackson biopic when it first was announced, and we kind of did another video for it when some more news came out, and we've now got some more news for it. We've got a release date here for the biopic that's going to be directed by Antonio Fuqua, and also helmed also by the guys that helped with the Bohemian Rhapsody Queen story, which is one of my... I love biopics. I love those type of films. I love films that play on or that retell actual events. And Bohemian Rhapsody is one of my favorite biopics. That film is great. That is a really great film.
That is a really great film.
I
Long
thought
film, but good film.
what he did with how Rami Malek came in as Freddie Mercury, great.
Yeah.
Great. He killed that performance. Yeah. It's
phenomenal. Did he
phenomenal
win an award for that one?
I believe he did.
Right?
I
It was
believe
like
he
an
did.
Emmy or something.
It was a phenomenal film. Phenomenal. I don't know what award he won for it, but it was a phenomenal film. But the same guys that worked on the Bohemian Rhapsody biopic are also helping with the Michael Jackson biopic, and some of the things we know about the biopic is they are not going to shy away from any of the allegations or any of the realism things that happened during Michael's life. They are going to tell the truth about it. We know that the estate is involved. We know that his family is involved. So the stories are going to be told correctly, and some people might, some of the naysayers out there might say from a certain point of view or biased wise, but I don't believe so. The stories are going to be told truthfully. The stories are going to be told the way that it actually happened, and regardless of whatever type of I didn't want to go all on this, but regardless of whatever type of negativity that people try to dig back up with a man that can no longer defend himself, a man that has been gone since 2009.
Right.
Even with the Epstein list that has come out and all the names that have been on that Epstein list, Michael's name is one of the names that is the prominent names that is on there, that people keep bringing up. Michael's name being on there, Michael's name being on there. Unless you've been paying attention to that Epstein list, I don't really think that you have room to really discuss anybody's names on there. And the reason I say that way is because a lot of the conversation, I'm no conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I am a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not going to go deep into the conspiracy theories with you. Although Cat Williams' interview is hilarious, although it is deep and it sheds a lot of light on a lot of different things, notice the timing. It came out the exact same time that the Epstein list was dropped. Which was talked about more? Cat Williams or the Epstein list with a lot of powerful names on it showing up on an island where we know certain things happened?
Right.
And again, I'm no conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you. I'm just saying, even though Michael's name, and there are some other names like Stephen Hawking and whatever, they say Stephen Hawking was there for a science expose. Michael Jackson was there because and when he was there, from what the girl said in her testimony when she was talking about it and when she met Michael, it wasn't for the reasons Michael wasn't on. And again, it's a thing to tie when you're tying someone's name to Epstein's island.
Right.
So it is going to be one of those conversations where you're juggling, but that person's name is connected to the island and this and that. But again, if you've been paying attention to the trial, you've been paying attention to the list that's come out and the things that the testimonies that's come out with the list from the girl, I forget her name, that was speaking. Michael wasn't there for those reasons. And that's from the testimony itself. Michael wasn't there for those reasons. So they're not going to shy away from any of the controversy or anything like that. But they're going to tell the truth. They're going to tell the truth. They're going to show what we all know, and that is that this man was innocent, and because that's how it was proven by a court of law, by a jury of his peers, and everything else like that. But I'm excited for this film. I'm excited for them to, tackle the greatest entertainer of all time, to tackle the King of Pop, to show us and show the world
what happened,
who Michael really was. There's this misconception. I didn't know Michael either, but there's this misconception that Michael was not there or weird or this or that, and I always put it this way. I think we're all weird, we're all different, but we all are raised in different way, different ways as well. If you watch the Jacksons, and I think that's one of the best tellings of their life. If you watch the Jacksons, the American Dream story that typically comes on VH1, but you can look it up and watch anywhere. But if you watch the Jacksons, the American Dream story, you will see why Michael was the way Michael was. He had no childhood. None of them had a childhood.
right?
From being very young to his last day, Michael spent every moment on stage, singing with a microphone, dancing, entertaining. That is what got them out of Gary. Was the fact that Joe saw in his children, but saw in Michael, that we actually have something that we can take, and build generations upon generations upon generations upon generations of wealth for our family. And that's what they did. So, it's not that Michael was weird. It's not that Michael was Michael didn't have a childhood. So when he actually got from under Joseph's thumb and was able to do things on his own, he relived his childhood. That's what Neverland was. It was him being a child, it was him being childlike, rather. And for some people, you may not be able to understand that. That may just be something outside of your comprehension, but there was nothing weird about Michael in that way. There was nothing weird about him wanting to be childlike. There was nothing weird about him, going to the all these hospitals and spending all the time that he spent and all the money that he spent, all the charities and things like that. The internet will try to tell you, and people will try to convince you, that Michael Joseph Jackson was this monster, was this criminal, was this rapist, was this weirdo, wacko jacko. But that's not who Mike was. So I implore everyone who may be out there and maybe leaning toward the fence on, oh, he was a monster, or oh, he was this. Do your own research instead of just listening to what the internet has to say about this individual or about any person, or I always say that about anything. Always do your own research. Michael was kind. Michael was a gentle soul, and wanted nothing but positivity, healing in the world, to help those that couldn't help themselves and others. I mean, I like I said, and that could just be me being biased as the massive fan that I am, but there will never be any Michael hate tolerated on my end, like ever. I fully support this man, fully support his family. All the accusations coming back up, all of that shit, I just think it's always a money grab, but we do have this film that's going to be releasing on April 18th. It goes on to say the Michael Jackson biopic starring Jafar Jackson as the King of Pop is getting a global release. Lionsgate is releasing the movie stateside on April 18th, 2025, with Universal is handling overseas distribution. It goes on to say the John Logan script movie produced by Bohemian Rhapsody's Graham King follows the complicated man who became the king of pop, from triumphs to tragedies, from his human side and personal struggles to his creative genius. The co-executive of the Michael Jackson estate, John Branca, and John McClane also are producers. Among those involved in the production are Oscar-winning director of photography Dion Beebe, production designer Barbara Ling, costume designer Marcy Rogers, choreographer Rich plus Tone, Oscar-winning makeup artist Bill Crosby, Oscar-nominated hairstylist. I don't really care about all of them. It goes on to say, Deadline First told you about Michael back in November of 2019, which reteamed Logan and King, who worked together on Martin Scorsese's The Aviator. King secured the rights to make the movie from the Michael Jackson estate with access to all the multi-Grammy winners' music. The movie landed at Lionsgate in February 2022. Last January, Jafar Jackson, the 27-year-old nephew of Michael Jackson, landed the title role. The singer and songwriter is the son of former Jackson 5 member and solo act Jermaine Jackson. Jafar has been singing and dancing since age 12 and showcased himself singing tunes from Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye, along with originals. Fakwa said in an interview with EW, "It's uncanny how much he's like Michael, sounds like him, dances like him, sings. It's really uncanny." Graham King, who is a fantastic producer, found him and introduced him to me, and I was blown away. While the estates of musical legends can often hold sway of how their cinematic narrative is told, Fakwa says that the Michael Jackson biopic will retell the king of pop's tales as we know it, and tackle some of the controversies and the singer was involved in during his lifetime. One of the last things it goes on to say is just to tell the facts as we know it about the artist, about the man, about the human being. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, Fakwa said in that interview. King said in a statement today, "I'm honored to tell Michael Jackson's story. It's been a long journey, and I'm excited for the film to show audiences around the world a perspective of Michael they've never seen." And that's kind of what I was talking about there, to get to know the man you think you know as a monster. Mm-hmm. To get to know the complicated man that is the king of pop. I mean, there's so many layers there.
I think the fact that he's played by a relative,
that
his estate and his children and his family are very involved. I feel like that whole statement right there just says something. Like, right. We're not here for y'all to fuck around and fight. Y'all really are going to fuck around and fight, right. Not really, but like, we're not here to sit here
to throw dirt on this man's name,
to throw dirt, right. Or to even make him seem like he was just this most perfect. But like, they're here to tell a story,
right?
They're here to tell the true story, and it's told by people that were affected mm-hmm. by the good, the bad, the ugly,
that were around
and saw how it affected him, how it made him, how it affected him as a father, as a son, as a,
the artist he was.
The artist that he was. So I'm pretty excited to see the movie. And you said it comes out April of this year or next year?
No, next year. So they still got the rest of this year to go on it, but April 18th of 2025 is when it'll be released in theaters. We've already seen Jafar Jackson, in rehearsal and things like that, and it's like Fakwa said, and like the article said, if you haven't listened to Jafar sing, he sounds like Mike.
I'm not it's like,
yeah, it's his family. He sounds like Mike.
I'm not surprised.
He's not obviously he's not Mike, but he does. It's a very, very close. He sounds like him.
Yeah,
he sounds like him. So I'm excited to see. I've seen some. There's not really been a lot of photos. I shared something on Facebook where he was like, Jafar was walking in for rehearsal for the film, and so that's the only like BTS photos we have right now. Nothing of him in costume or anything like that. But I am excited for this. Again, I'm a huge advocate for Mike. I will always be a huge advocate for Mike. I have a very, 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 very special place in my heart for this man I've never met in my life. But I adore Michael Joseph Jackson. I think there will never be another. And you just got to put some respect on the King of Pop's name is all it is. last thing I'm going to say, I think I said this the last time we talked about Mike. Is when they were making the comparisons to the whole Taylor Swift shit, that dumb shit. To this day, and I've been waiting for someone to show me, there's not an artist that has that effect. The video we watched, I'm not going to pull it up, but there's not an artist that has that effect. Michael Jackson coming on stage and not saying a word, just popping out of the stage and looking around at the crowd, and you got people passing out, stretchers being brought, ambulances being brought in.
This is all before social media.
Yeah, this is before social media. This is when he was just going off of pure word of mouth, record sales. This was, I got into a debate with someone on Facebook that tried to tell me that Beyonce is just as big a star as her. And as Mike can note, there's no slack to Beyonce. I love B. I love B. But I don't care who they are. No, there is not an artist today, tomorrow, in another millennium that will ever touch what Michael Jackson did and is still doing, because the Thriller album is still the #1 selling album of all time.
Yeah.
No one will ever touch this man. Beyonce did brilliant numbers, but the numbers that you're giving me, you have to remember, are numbers you're giving me in 2024, 2023. Michael was doing this without Spotify, without Apple Music, without Pandora, all these radio stations and this and this and that. There were radio stations, and he was going on, radio shows and things like that. But this was during a time where you couldn't. If Beyonce sings a note right now, if she sings in Paris right now, within seconds from a camera phone, that video's in Dubai. That wasn't the case in the 80s and in the 70s when Michael and Jackson 5 were doing what they were doing. So you cannot compare any artist today to what Michael was doing, and again is still doing, with his album still being the #1 selling album of all time. You just can't. You can't. You can't.
But to not even to compare, like, you can say the same thing about Beyonce. Like, Beyonce's, for the era that she's been in, there's not going to be another Beyonce.
No, exactly. There's not going to be another Beyonce.
There's
and I agree.
I agree. That has the closest, maybe Taylor Swift. I don't know. Someone would have to really look into the numbers. But there's, even with Taylor, there's not going to be another Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
There's not going to be another Chris Brown. There's not going to be another Prince. There's not going to be another Michael Jackson.
You have your greats. There's not going to be another Whitney. You have your greats. They're just great for a reason. And I mean, like I said, you can throw whatever numbers you want to throw at me.
It's just not going to do it.
Mike is Mike, bro.
Right.
Like, when I see somebody, an artist today, even a Beyonce, going on stage, and before she has sung a word, before she has moved a hip or anything, people are passing out, then we can maybe have some conversations. But again, I'm not going to pull it up. If you haven't seen those videos, I don't know then you're under a rock. But if you haven't seen those videos, go look at those videos of Michael when he's on stage and he's not singing. He's just standing there. And people are getting pushed out of the way with stretchers because you got bitches passing out.
Right.
And then he just turns his head and the crowd elevates. Like, that's magic. That's star power. Right. That is star power. So... But as always, questions for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking about the Michael Jackson biopic and the release date. Is it something that you're still anticipating seeing, if you were anticipating seeing it? And what do you think about, the whole arguments with today's numbers and Michael Jackson being topped by artists, or by some people thinking him being topped by artists and things like that? But, again, like I said, I just don't think that that's a possibility. I don't think that that's something that can be done. Let us know all those things, all those questions and answers that you guys have down below in the comments. We got
Profess the film fan. Sorry, I believe this will turn the tide against the negative thinking from the mainstream media. Xavier, I can't wait for this biopic. There will never be another entertainer like Michael Jackson. Not Again 90, with the family involved in this movie, it's going to be a success. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Jenna, I don't know if I said that right. Jenna Network, Michael Jackson was an exceptional artist who dedicated his all in his performances and donated millions to various charities throughout his lifetime.
Yes, he did. He did indeed.
Let me see here. Again, with Jonna, he was a black man who had a deep understanding of the music industry, which is why some have attempted to diminish his legacy. I mean, same thing with Prince.
Yep.
So, Gray, the Budapest concert I saw that on HBO. People were falling out left and right.
Yep. Telling you.
Tyron, this movie makes me crave a Prince movie. Same.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Xavier, people were fainting and leaving in ambulances, ... I remember that impact he had. D-Sizzle, my bad, y'all. I'm multitasking right now. I was accidentally posting in the wrong live. Hello.
Oh, no, you good. Yeah, no, that's true, though. You know, Mike is Mike, man. Mike is Mike. But we will move here to the final and last topic of the evening. And the final and last topic of the evening is just going to be us kind of just giving our review here of Echo. And I'm going to let, before I go on that one, I'm going to let Corey go. You can go ahead, go first on Echo and just be, you know, I guess I'll set it up here. We watched Echo. For those that are not aware, we did watch the first 4 episodes of Echo. I believe Corey's still going to watch the finale of the episode, and she'll get into that with you, and then I will get into my whys and things once I talk about it. But Corey, your thoughts on the first 4 episodes that you've seen of Echo?
Nothing phenomenal. I will say that. The fight scenes were great. The 2 that was in there between the 4 episodes. I really do like the cinematic, like the direction and
the camera
just
work,
the views and the camera work. I do like that. I do like the fact that we go in and out of her point of view. I like how even sometimes when they're signing and talking, you still hear it. But as far as the story, and the acting's great. As far as the story, though, as far as the plot, as far as is this necessary? No. I think this was, even though this, I said this with you guys, even though the show is primarily about Echo, I think Marvel's overall big picture was a stepping stone for Fisk to set us up for what's going to be going on the ground between him and Daredevil and Spider-Man. I mean, don't get me wrong, the inclusivity of the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma and the fact that she has 2 disabilities and is great with martial arts, I think is fantastic. But overall, is the show necessary? No. Is the storyline necessary? No. I think it's kind of weird that they're doing this alien-based thing with the Choctaw Nation. I'm actually really shocked that they, allowed that, I guess. I just kind of feel like that makes them look like they just weren't original. I don't know. I think that whole thing is just really weird.
Right.
And I don't get the connection.
No? Yeah.
So... I mean, overall, it's not the worst thing I've watched. It's not the best thing I've watched. I don't plan on watching it again. I would watch it over She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I would honestly probably watch it over Miss Marvel. Just because it's older and it's a little grittier, if that's even the word you want to use. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
But would I watch it again? No.
Right.
Say something nice. I'm just kidding. It takes you that long to think about it.
I have not anything nice to say about Echo. I thought I was gonna have something nice to say, but I don't. I have nothing nice to say about Echo. I hated that show. Now let me say this. Being Choctaw, I do have the respect and everything there for the inclusivity of the Choctaw Nation and talking with the Choctaw Nation and coming down here to Oklahoma and including the Choctaw Nation and everything, you know, the storytelling and all, that's fine. But the overall show itself is what I said the overall show was going to be when we first started talking about the show, when Marvel first announced the show. It was shit on the ground. And the reason it was shit on the ground is for all the things that we've talked about when it comes to Echo. The show was, you know, for one, you took an obscure character that no one really cares about in Marvel Comics anyway. The character is only interesting anytime that she's around Daredevil, anytime she's in the comics. You also took away some of her abilities in that come with her in the comics because you wanted to make Taskmaster a female. You then decided that the audience, we were going to be too dumb to decide to be able to tell between Taskmaster and Echo, so you just then decided, well, no, we're not going to give her the exact same powers as Taskmaster. We're just going to give her some brand new powers. You took away her ability to read lips. She can't read lips in the fucking... She's looking around confused. That's how she communicates in the comics. That's how she fucking communicates with Daredevil. She's reading his fucking lips. So you changed that about her. You took the show from 6 episodes to 5 episodes, and you could have took it from 5 episodes to no episodes because it was a disaster in my opinion. The very first episode drew me in. The very first episode did its job. I was like, I am curious. I cannot wait to watch the next episode. I want to see where this goes. How is she going to get her powers? But from that episode to the second episode to the third episode to the fourth episode, I'm not watching the 5th episode. I was fighting staying awake, and you will watch that when I clip some of the footage of the reaction we did, because I'm not going to edit the reaction because in my opinion it's a waste of time. It's the same reason you didn't get any reactions from us when She-Hulk was out. If you go and you look on our channel, none of the finale for She-Hulk didn't get put out. Why? Because I wasted fucking 9 weeks watching She-Hulk, got to the finale, and it was a waste of my goddamn time. I said to myself, don't waste your time with Echo. Don't watch Echo. But then Marvel did that Marvel thing they do where they make those damn good-ass trailers and they draw you in. And I said, you know what? I'm going to watch it. My curiosity is piqued. I'm going to watch it. But my curiosity went from being piqued to being pissed as fuck because my time was wasted. Once again. Now, did I have to pay for this in the grand scheme of things? No. I didn't have to pay for it as if I'm going to go sit down at a Marvel film. No, I didn't have to pay for it. But I still paid for it in time. This is why I said, why am I watching this? Why am I watching What If? Because none of this shit has shit to do with the multiversal stuff that's going on in the MCU. And I even shudder saying that. And the reason I say that is because the things they changed with Echo, the Choctaw Nation being the first people, I guess, of the world, maybe, and maybe I'm reading that wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
they didn't do a good job, verifying.
No, I still don't know what the fuck her power is. I have no, and I'm not watching the finale to find out because I don't give a. You had 4 episodes to make me give a fuck, and you failed.
Yeah.
You failed. You failed to make me give a fucking 4 episodes. 4 episodes. You had all that time, and in all that time of her trying to figure out who the fuck she is, her ancestors, what her power is, why this weird shit's going on to her, they were too busy telling the story of her being disgruntled and upset and angry with her family that we never got to the, and I'm sure we did get to it. It happens in the finale because that typical MCU shit. You have to sit through all this boring, droll ass shit to get to the finale to finally get something interesting. And I'm not sitting here saying that the fight scene in the warehouse wasn't dope, because that shit was dope.
It was.
I'm not saying that the fight scene in the skate rink wasn't dope, because it was dope as well. Her point of view when it goes silence, that's dope too. Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, Vincent D'Onofrio kills that shit. We are blessed to have him. But you know what we didn't have to have? Fucking Echo. We didn't have to have this show. Yeah. We didn't. Yet, and then that's why when I was talking about Echo, I said the things I said. Daredevil he went from being in the 3rd episode to the 1st episode because they knew. They knew. Yeah. Motherfuckers ain't sitting around waiting for 3 episodes to watch what we were told was an incredible fight scene. That shit wasn't incredible. It was incredibly lackluster. Yeah. Right. I was bored. It was a waste of my... Bro, like I said... The
fight before her and Daredevil was actually more interesting than the fight with her and Daredevil. Honestly.
Yeah.
If you're asking my honest opinion, that scene, that whole fight scene right before Daredevil came up, it was like
it's just a waste. It's a waste.
It was a waste.
And you when you listen to these shills and you listen to these people get on here, and if you loved it, that's great. And if the show does good, that's great. I'm rooting for Marvel to do good. But when Marvel is giving this bullshit ass, we haven't had a good Disney Plus show since Loki season 1. And your mileage may vary on that. But for me personally, Hawkeye, shit. Falcon and Winter Soldier, shit. She-Hulk, shit. Miss Marvel, shit. Miss Marvel Echo is literally echoing Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing.
Yeah.
Echo, the show, is Miss Marvel. But a different race, a different time, a different place. That's all it is. That's all Echo is. And the stuff with Fisk is dope. I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio brings the Kingpin character to life. I mean, nobody has to... That's not news to anyone if you watch the original Netflix show. But what we're getting outside of Vincent... You take the post-credit scene that they put in the in episode 5. I didn't watch episode 5, but I heard that there was a post-credit scene, so I watched the post-credit scene. And I skipped through episode 5. I skipped through. I didn't watch it. I was just skipping through. And what I skipped through looked boring. What I skipped through looked like shit. What I skipped through looked like, nigga, if you waste your time on this 34-minute bullshit with Marvel. But when I skipped to the post-credit scene, I was like, that was the show. That's what we came for.
right.
That was it. Letting us know that Wilson Fisk is running for mayor. And now we're going to see those events take place in Daredevil that's going to bleed into Spider-Man. And that's what the fuck we want to see. And if Echo's there, then lottie-gotti-doo-da-day. But I don't give a fuck if she's there. Because, once again, Marvel, you have failed to make me give a fuck about a character. A character that I never even gave a fuck about in Marvel Comics anyway. So, a waste of time.
Yeah.
A waste of time. For me personally, and again, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from going to watch Echo. If you watched it and you liked it, hooray. I'm so glad. I'm rooting for Marvel to win. But for me personally, I'm on the road to Deadpool at this point. Yeah. I'm counting down the days to Deadpool. If I don't ever see Echo again,
you're gonna be alright.
I don't care. I just don't. So, if you watch it, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. Like Brad Winterbottom or Winterbaum said, the director or producer or whoever the fuck he was, you don't have to know what happened to Thanos to know what happens in Echo. And he's not fucking lying. You don't. You don't. It's under the Marvel spotlight, and that's fine. I like the Marvel spotlight. I like the fact that we're getting, these stories that aren't centrally told in the MCU. But if that's the bullshit that you're playing with, keep it. Keep it. Kevin Feige, and let me play this shit real quick, and I love Feige, y'all know that, but let me play this real quick. Kevin Feige got up here and said this bullshit, this generic ass, written down PR fucking bullshit about Echo.
The greatest thing about Disney Plus for us, we can do all different types of shows, and we've been able to do a Christmas show and a time travel show and a black and white sitcom. This is a TVMA show. This is an adult show that, just like the Marvel Knights comics, where Echo first started, it goes much deeper, much darker in ways that we could only do with a TVMA rating. So I am excited for people to see, as readers of the comics know, the different tonalities that we've been able to do in all of our shows, and this being the darkest one yet.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. It was the darkest one yet. It was the darkest Marvel show we've got. But but we're not about to sit here and pretend like it was just. It wasn't. And his look right here, that look right there, that ending look, that's a I'm bullshitting you ass look right there. That's a I'm lying to you. The show sucks ass look. Don't go watch it. But I gotta sit on the red carpet and tell you that it's good.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's botched. He knew that when they went in and changed everything. When they changed everything, it was bad. It was bad, and I feel bad for for Allegua, Aqua, whatever her name is. I feel bad for Miss Cox, because if that's what you're presenting me with, and I pray to God maybe Marvel set her down and said, "Hey, just bear with us."
Yeah,
because that, and the last thing I'll say is this. I'm sorry. The last thing I'm gonna say is this. It was something I had said it earlier when we were talking about it after we had just got done watching it. What was it about her? Damn, I don't. It'll come back to me. But go ahead and say what you're gonna say. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, the actress that plays her is phenomenal.
Yeah, she's good.
I just don't think they like MCU fashion. They just didn't do her storyline right. And I would have been more intrigued if you wanted to bring Echo to the forefront. I would have been more intrigued if you put her in casually than doing the whole 5-episode show. Like you said, we didn't have to have Echo.
Oh, God.
And we necessarily don't need Echo. But if Echo is what you want in order to move forward, we could have waited for her in Deadpool. We could have waited for her in Spider-Man. We could have had her in segments to where we could get excited and be like, hey, Marvel, let's get an Echo show. But instead, you guys want to throw these characters out thinking we're going to get excited about them, but then set them up for failure.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin Feige talking about it's our first real TVMA. Like, yeah, I mean, hey, so again, Echo is out. All 5 episodes have dropped, and that's intentional. And they know why they dropped all 5 episodes intentionally. We've talked about that. Because no one was going, realistically, realistically, bruh, if you watch that show, were you week to week gonna be like,
no,
after popcorn, here's Echo.
After the second episode, I probably just would have been like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So they knew what they did.
Yeah, but so hopefully they're figuring this shit out. Because like I said, it is botched. That show is... That very show... Botched. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. Yeah. But, as always... Question is for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys think. If you watched Echo, did you like Echo? If you didn't watch Echo, are you gonna watch Echo? If you saw the trailer, if you were there when they announced Echo, were you one that said then, I'm not watching Echo? And you know what? I was one that said then, I'm not watching Echo, and I damn sure wish I would have stuck with that first mind. But I thought to myself, I got a YouTube channel. Let me do my due diligence. Watch it for the people that don't want to watch it. Let me suffer for a minute. Watch it, and then... give the review. So I did my due diligence. That's what I thought. Yippee-ki fucking yay for Echo. Well, let's see what you think. What are they saying?
Gray said he watched 3 of them, but he has to finish it. I mean, if you would like. D Sizzle said show is mid, 6 out of 10. Raptor Cloak, not sure if it warranted TVMA, but nice to see Daredevil and Renegade, though Kingpin is still neutered like K.
I'm sorry, that's what I was going to say earlier. It came back to me. Dude that sat down from Screen Rant with Winterbottom, Brad, whoever, and said, it's Ozark-like. I laughed then. I'm laughing now. And why am I laughing? The only thing that was Ozark-like from that, I said this when we were watching it, was the 3 hillbilly motherfuckers from the skate rink. Yeah. I did not understand their involvement in the show. And maybe they played a much better role, or it was more fleshed out in the 6th episode version, the longer episodes maybe. I don't know. The writing around that entire sequence was terrible.
But even like when the uncle and Echo were sitting down, and she was like, "What the hell happened?" And he's like, "Oh, you mean like which part? The part where the guy who cleans my skates almost fucking killed." Like even the fact that you had to throw a line in there to be like, "What the fuck was that?"
It was awful.
It was awful.
That was the only thing Ozark-like about it. They look like Ozark villains. The 3 hillbillies, like that was awful. That sequence. The whole time that sequence was going on, I was asking them. I was like, "Did I miss something? What role do these bitches play?" Like, I don't get why they're so intent in... Is it the money? Is it the money's the motive? The money is the reason? I didn't get it. I was lost.
D Sizzle, this version is different than her comic counterpart. The showrunner even said her comic powers are quote-unquote lame.
Yeah, I do remember that. Then don't... Okay. This one,
SB Flash, several other Native Americans / those of Native American descent did not like the show either. Interesting. D-Sizzle again, that part at Daria, she's an expert lip reader.
Right. I just don't understand. You took one of her best qualities away from her. You had her looking confused.
Right. Xavier also said the non-lip reading bothered me too. Gray, Marvel must have hired the same people that did the first Suicide Squad trailer.
Right.
Andre Ware, especially if it's not connected to the greater MCU story.
Yeah.
D-Sizzle, she's not even Choctaw in the comics.
No, she's is it Cheyenne? I forget what it is in the comics. Yeah, but it's
Raptor
not
Club,
Choctaw.
don't worry, Darius, you didn't miss anything from the last 2 episodes that would put a smile on your face.
Oh, bro, thank you. Like I said, I wasn't watching that. I wasn't wasting my time.
Executive Judge, the finale ended up being underwhelming, typical MCU Disney Plus junk.
I'm not shocked. From what I skimmed through, it looked like it.
SB Flash, they embarrassed Kingpin in the end of the show again. SMH.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch base on that. Yes and no. Maybe because I'm a parent, maybe because I'm a lady, I don't know. But I felt like the Kingpin that we've all known is obviously kill now, don't ask questions later type of guy. But with her, it's like he basically raised her. Whether it was to use her or to truly love her, like, that's the thing with it's a very thin line with parenting. Like, whether you want to do it or not, you're going to form a bond no matter what. And I feel, I hate to say this because we were just talking about how we need to get off of this man's nuts, but it was giving me very much Thanos.
That's that's what they want.
Gamora vibes.
That's what they want.
Like, yeah, I raised you to use you, but I raised you so I have a connection with you. So it's harder for me to sit here and squeeze your, throat out through your nose. But like, if I have to, I will. So I think, for me, I don't think it was a downplay. I think, if anything, it was kind of necessary because this is the one person in his inner circle that can blow up inventory, that can cause all this ruckus, and she's still alive.
That is very
she's
true.
Still living. So I think
true.
I think for me that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I can see how some people are like, "Oh, you downplayed him," but I'm like, we have to have a realistic moment. Like, if this person raised you, and then you found out that they raised you because you killed your said parents, like.
Right. No, very good points.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's going to be some animosity. So I agree with that, but I don't agree with that. Lost in Translation said, I fell asleep in the first 20 minutes. I just couldn't.
I was fighting mine. I was fighting sleep.
Yeah. Grand Regent Thrag. I tried watching it twice last night, brah, and it was boring as hell. LOL.
I just can't. And bro, y'all know I said I wasn't going to watch it. It was the trailer.
Yeah.
That trailer, and then the featurette they did with the Choctaw Nation. I was like, okay, I'm watching it.
Yeah. Grand Regent Thrag, and didn't the Native American village remind you a lot of
Talakon and
Talakon with Namor? Yeah.
It's a lot of the same recycled material.
Yeah. He also said Daredevil showed up for 5 seconds with no point of him being there. Yeah, I was confused. Like, you were literally there for 5 seconds, and you're upset to fight her because you're upset with her because she was getting after the same guys you... Like, make the connection. Like, if we're going to do all that, make the connection, because the math's not mathing. Move down here a little bit.
You know what, Grand Regent Thag? I asked that same question. So is Echo going to be the new character from What If? Is that what they're forced? I don't know. I don't think that. I think that new character is her own character. Obviously, that's like the. But I said the same thing because somebody put a side by side picture of them. I was like, so are we trying to say that Echo's gonna be like? I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think so. I don't think Echo's gonna play that much of it. I don't even know if that chick's gonna play an integral role.
D. Sizzle said Echo is better suited for a team-up project. Yeah, I totally agree.
That's fine.
Yeah.
When she's with Daredevil, she's interesting.
Yeah. Grand Regent also said, that's a good idea. Corey should have had thrown her in a movie and stuff first. Yeah, like, if you wanted Echo to be in the shit, sure. Just throw her with people that we're going to connect her with so we can actually get excited. If you would have thrown her in there with Daredevil and
But see,
Spider-Man,
you introduced her in Hawkeye. Who
But
remembers what Hawkeye was about?
But that's what I'm saying. If that's gonna be our leap, if that's what we were gonna, if you wanted her to have this attention, you shouldn't have gone from Hawkeye to Echo. You should have gone from Hawkeye to Daredevil to Spider-Man. So by the time we are past Secret Wars and we're in our little reboot, we kind of would have been interested in Echo. Why did Echo get Kingpin so bad? How the fuck did Kingpin lose an eye? Like, we would have been asking these questions.
Yeah, but you introduced her in Hawkeye when... Hawkeye. I don't even remember what that damn shit was about. No idea.
Let me see here. Sorry, there's a lot. Grand also said, I like the more serious tone, but the story was just missing something. Yeah, like the tone was there, the pace was there. Oh, the pace was kind of there. The tone was definitely there. I just feel like we're focusing too much on emotions and we're not focusing enough on the storyline. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Like, Cleve 17, it was good from what I saw because I didn't have any expectations for it. And maybe that's why I'm like, okay, I'll watch the last episode, because I didn't go in there with any expectations besides this show is honestly MCU just trying to set the pay for Will Skin Fist, which is going to set the pay for Spider-Man and Daredevil. And, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, no expectation.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I mean, yeah, that's it. I'm just looking at this paused picture of Feige. That's funny. Yeah, no, that's. I mean, that's it. Like I said, that's it until we have until Deadpool. I don't know if there's another show coming out.
I don't know if there's any more Marvel like MCU shows coming out. Let me see.
I don't know. I know 97 is still coming out. Is freshman year still a thing? Who knows? I don't know. Freshman year might still be a thing. I haven't heard them say shit about it. Marvel Zombies, I know that's still a show.
Let me see here.
What else? Wonder Man is still a show. Yay, get excited. Here, Wonder Man's coming. Vision Quest is still a show. Agatha, Covenant of... But we're talking 2024.
Fall of 2024, we got Agatha.
Agatha's not coming out no damn fall 2024. They lying. That's just going to be...
X-Men 97. Oh, that doesn't have a release date. Yeah, a lot of these just don't have really a release date.
Yeah, Agatha's like 2025 now.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think we really have...
Is it just Marvel Zombies?
I
Oh, yeah. What If Season 3? Cleve 7, that is true. They did talk about What If Season 3 possibly dropping this year. Okay, so freshman year is coming out. Okay.
That's for y'all. How you feel about Echo is how I feel about What If. I'm not watching that dumbass. I didn't watch the first season. I'm not watching the second season.
I don't care
not
about
watching
What If.
Third. What the fuck?
Oh, okay, so Agatha is still coming out this year?
Yeah,
Really?
I think...
I thought that shit got pushed to 2025. Wow. Agatha's still coming out this year. Okay. Now, at one point I was interested in the Agatha show. I still am in ways because of the magic stuff, but the plot...
I need the plot to thicken.
Oh, that plot.
I need the plot to thicken because it's not there.
That plot is
it's not
ass-tastic. It is ass-tastic for sure.
Yeah. But you know, this is going to be a spotlight.
No.
Is it not?
Agatha's not. I don't believe Agatha's a spotlight.
No.
Yeah. they're inventing that new character, the Green Witch. She's gonna be the most powerful witch in the MCU, more powerful than the Scarlet Witch.
Then what's the fucking point? Why would you introduce us to Wanda if you were just gonna make a bigger and better bitch?
And why is she just a color? I just don't get it. Don't get it.
All right.
I don't
I'm
get
done.
it. Oh, and did you hear this too? Iron Fist is going to be a girl. They're changing Iron Fist to be a girl.
Okay, but wait. That if they're adapting what Netflix did, I don't know if you.
I didn't.
Okay,
I don't
the
give a
first
shit.
season sucked ass. The second season was actually pretty decent. And at the end of that season, homegirl that he was with, she had a white hand. Because I think she was originally supposed to be Iron Fist. And somehow Danny got... Like, that's how, like, the plot ended.
Well,
I will say this. The first season, there's literally no reason for you to watch it whatsoever. Like, it is the dumbest. I was even shook that I took the time to watch the second season. But that second season...
no, I'm assuming not a lot of people had seen that had come out from... I don't know if that was Daniel that said that, but they were looking that Marvel is looking to...
Yeah, Colleen Wing. Thank you, Raptor Cloak. Yeah, at the end of the second season, she ended up having a fist too, and towards like the last few episodes, they were like basically pointing how it was like more her right.
I mean, maybe that's what they're going to go off of, because the Netflix things are now canon to the MCU, so maybe that's what they're... Maybe
My
I
question
didn't watch
is,
it, so...
are we bringing back Luke Cage? Because the way they ended that season...
Well,
I
he
can
was
see how, like,
he was
it
on
can-
the picture of things that are canon.
I can see how it can kind of low-key tie in with Kingpin. I mean, of course, they're like...
I mean, this is all the
cities.
ground level stuff, so
Yeah, but...
he might be, honestly.
I love Jessica Jones. I loved Luke Cage. I love season 2 of Iron Fist. I love the Defenders. I thought Netflix did a great job.
Yeah, no, Netflix had some of the gems
I so
they had.
rewatched Jessica Jones.
Yeah, they had some gems on there.
And
But you know, some of those shows not on Netflix, like, ooh, baby, have you seen Cloak and Dagger? Ooh,
that was
Jesus
not good.
Christ!
I watched the first episode and I was like, yeah.
Oh my God! Not just that one.
Diamondback
Inhumans.
was a great actor. That was a good show.
Who?
I loved Luke Cage. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the
Diamondback.
Inhumans was awful. There have been some terrible ones, man.
Yeah, there has been.
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger was Hulu, but it was still...
It was not...
It was Hulu's of shit. It was terrible.
Cleve17 said that he liked The Runaways. I heard The Runaways wasn't the worst.
I heard Runaways was okay.
I heard it was alright.
Hungry said, to be honest, give what Disney is doing. I was predicting that Disney was going to go and lie Iron Fist over Danny Rand. Or Lin Lai over Danny Rand.
Simply due to Lin being Asian. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie. The ending of that second season, and then they announced that they weren't, like, Netflix wasn't going to do it anymore, I was kind of upset because it did leave on a pretty good cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I don't
anyway,
know.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that is pretty much what we've got. Marvelous D,
Hi,
what's
Marvelous
up?
D.
Appreciate you being here.
I got
Runaways. Runaways was on. It's the thing with the X-Men, isn't it? The mutants, isn't that the Runaways? I think that's what the Runaways is. I think. Well, is that not the? Am I getting the Runaways mixed up with? I think I'm getting the Runaways mixed up with. What was that? What was the last X-Men film? Or like mutant type of film? I don't remember. I watched it. It was ass. I did not like it. Damn, what was it? What's that last one? Somebody know it? No, New Mutants. Yeah, New Mutants. The New Mutants. Oh, gosh. I didn't like that
Runaways are about, I was like, they're either like children of the villains or children of the super, I couldn't tell you which one, but yeah, they found out that the parents are villains. But isn't it like villains of MCU or villains of...
I think just Marvel villains.
Yeah, right. Just Marvel villains.
Not on the table, not something we talked about, but I didn't talk about it the other day. Star Wars is doing a Mandalorian and Grogu film. It's supposed to, from what we know about it, it's supposed to be. You saw?
that.
Yeah. Season 4 is supposed to still happen. The film is supposed to be the finale to season 4. So season 4 is going to end on a cliffhanger. Then the film is supposed to be the finale to season 4. So Mando and Grogu are going to the big screen. I don't know if that's still going to be tied in with the events of Ahsoka season 2 or Ahsoka or whatever or any of that stuff. I don't know if they're still going that route of heir to the Empire. I mean, I would assume they are, assuming Grand Admiral Thrawn is now out of the unknown regions and back into the known galaxy, headed for the New Republic. So,
a long way to go, guys.
oh yeah, you far from
Because
there.
everything you just said sounded like a completely different language. So.
Yeah, so yeah, you far from there. But
Far from there. But
yeah, that's the thing. There's just so much going on. Like Grogu's not even grown. Like he's still saying goo goo gaga. Like I don't we don't know what's going on. Like
maybe
Star
we'll
Wars
see him grow up.
Star Wars is in such a weird place.
Maybe they'll pull a Groot on him. Like we'll have like baby version, then teenage version, and then full adult version. Well, let me just not speak on Star Wars anymore.
I hope they.
I have to go get the kid.
I hope they don't do that. Okay, yeah, we got to wrap.
Like, let me not speak where I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I said that, and he looked at me like.
And the last thing I'll leave my Star Wars fans with is, right now, from the plot leak that we've heard for the Rey movie that is actually happening, buckle the fuck up for that shit. Plagueis is going to be is rumored to be the villain, and I'm gonna leave you guys on that. For all my Star Wars fans, okay, so okay. I appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, great. I appreciate all of you guys. We'll talk about it. Appreciate all you guys being here. I'm off tomorrow, so I might pop in on the live tomorrow. I don't know. But I appreciate all you guys being here, hanging out with us and everything like that. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. We're almost at that 2,000 subscriber mark, so please hit that. And also last thing. I was going to try to keep this wraps, but I want to try to make this happen. I have 41 people in here right now. Let's spread this. I want to try to get Aldous Hodges on here for a Zoom type of Skype, whatever. I want to talk to him about T'Challa. I want to talk to him about trying to play the role, the importance and all. I would like to do the very first interview with him about that outside of the interview he did with Fandom Wire, whoever the fuck it was. So I've already messaged him. I've messaged his brother and the other 2 odd people he follows on Instagram. Go to his Instagram. Put under a photo, tag Planet Fanatix, tag something. Try to get this man so we can talk to him. I would love to talk to him about playing T'Challa. That'd be dope. So anyway, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out. Echo sucked. Plagueis is in Star Wars Episode 11. What the fuck's going on? This is 2024. See you guys in the next video.